Good morning to all. Today we are going to deal with one of the important chapter, that is balancing from kinematics and theory of machine. Outline of the chapter: first we are going to study preamble, then need of balancing, what is balancing of rotating masses, static and dynamic balancing, then balancing of single rotating mass by single mass rotating in the same plane. Now we know that there are various components such as pulley, gear shaft assemblies, high speed tool spindles, machine tool spindles, flywheels, impellers, electric motor rotors, precision shafts, crankshafts, grinding wheels, steam and gas turbine rotors. All these components are rotating. If these components are unbalanced due to the unbalanced centrifugal force, then there will be vibrations. Now in order to avoid these vibrations, there is need for balancing. Such a rotor or any rotating component will cause the whole machine to vibrate. Again, it results in noise which occurs due to vibration of the whole machine. Again, abrasion of bearings may short the life of the machine. Then, what is balancing of rotating masses? A simple process of restoring a rotor or any rotating component on a shaft to a balanced state by adjusting the mass distribution of the rotor about its axis of rotation. Why it is required? It is required to ensure rotation of rotor in its bearing without unbalanced or uncompensated centrifugal forces. It can be done by adding compensating mass to a rotor at prescribed location, or it can also be done by removing fixed quantities of material, for example by drilling. There are two types of balancing, that is static and dynamic balancing. Static balancing is nothing but single plane balancing. The condition for single plane balancing or static balancing is that net dynamic force acting on a shaft is equal to 0. And second type, that is dynamic balancing. It is also known as dual plane balancing. Here the net dynamic force acting on the shaft is equal to 0 and the net couple due to dynamic forces acting on the shaft is equal to 0. Now, balancing of single rotating mass by a single mass rotating in the same plane. As shown in the figure, we can consider a mass rotating having radius r1 and mass m1. It can be balanced by providing the mass in the same plane having the radius r2 and mass m2. So again, this is the axis of rotation, this is actual mass, or we can consider this is unbalanced mass or disturbing mass. We need to balance this by providing mass in opposite direction with radius r2, that we can call it as a balancing mass at radius r2. Note that the centrifugal forces proportional to the product of mass and radius of rotation of respective masses, because omega square is same for each mass. Now there are several methods to solve balancing of several masses rotating in the same plane, but as per our syllabus or exam point of view, graphical method is important. Now consider their mass m1, m2, m3 and m4 rotating in same plane having a radius r1, r2, r3 and r4 from the axis of rotating shaft. Let theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, theta 4 be the angles of these masses with the horizontal line OX as shown in this figure. Now let masses rotate about an axis through O, and perpendicular to the plane of paper with constant angular velocity of omega radian per second. The magnitude, in this case, the magnitude and position of the balancing mass may be found out analytically or graphically as discussed in the steps. Here, as an important method, we are going to discuss graphical method only. In the first step, draw the space diagram with the position of the several masses as shown in the figure. So this is called as a space diagram. Then, in accordance to the masses and the radius, find out the centrifugal forces by using the formula mass into the radius of rotation exerted by centrifugal force exerted by each mass on the rotating shaft. Then in next step, draw the vector diagram with the obtained centrifugal forces. Now as per polygon law, the closing side AE represent the resultant force in the magnitude and the direction as shown in the figure. So again, with respect to centrifugal force Fc1, we are going to draw vector AB by taking suitable scale. Again, by taking magnitude equal to centrifugal force Fc2, we are going to draw one vector parallel to this OFC2. Again, by taking scale equal to magnitude of this OFC, we are going to draw vector CD parallel to this OFC3, and at last we are going to get last vector, that is D, which is parallel to the OFC4. Again, as per the polygon law, already the closing side AE represent the resultant force in the magnitude and the direction as shown in the figure. So close this vector, that is EA, and show arrow in opposite direction, that will represent the resultant vector. The balancing force is then equal to resultant force but in opposite direction. Now find the magnitude of balancing mass at a given radius r such that mr is equal to resultant centrifugal force. So by measuring this vector AE, we can get resultant centrifugal force, and by knowing the radius, we can calculate the magnitude of the mass. Now to get an exact idea of the graphical method, we can take one example. Example number 1. The figure is shown for the same one. 4 masses M1, M2, M3 and M4 are 200 kg, 300 kg, 240 kg, 260 kg respectively as shown in the figure. The corresponding radii of rotation are 0.2 m, 2 meter, 0.15 meter, 0.25 meter, 0.3 respectively. The angles of between the successive masses are 45, 75, 135 degree respectively. Find the position and the magnitude of the balance mass required if its radius of rotation is 0.2 meter. So again, this is the 4 masses are given. Again, by following the steps in the graphical method. So first step, draw space diagram in accordance to the given diagram. we have drawn the space diagram. Draw the space diagram showing the positions of all given masses as shown in this figure. Right, so mass 200 kg at a radius of 0.2 meter, mass 300 kg at a radius of 0.15 meter, mass 240 that is 0.25 meter, and mass 260 at 0.3 meter distance. So we have drawn the space diagram. Then step number 2, we need to calculate the centrifugal forces. Since the centrifugal force of each mass is proportional to the product of the mass and the radius, therefore in accordance to that, for all 4 masses, these are the centrifugal forces, that is M1 into R1. Again, M1 is 200 kg, radius is 0.2 meter, accordingly 40 kg meter. So in the same way, we have calculated the centrifugal masses. Then step number 3, draw vector diagram, or we can call it as a force polygon also. Now with some suitable scale, draw a vector diagram. Again start with the first centrifugal force, that is 40 kg meter. We need to draw first vector which is parallel to this vector, parallel to this 200 kg mass, that is in horizontal direction with the magnitude 40. Again draw one vector parallel to mass 300 kg with the magnitude 45 kg meter. Again draw one vector, starting point is C, parallel to this 240 kg mass in the same direction. Again draw one vector parallel to this O, 260 kg in this direction. Now close this space, and that vector denotes the resultant centrifugal force. Now next step is to calculate the balancing mass. So again measure this vector, that is vector EA, and accordingly we can get 23 kg meter. So therefore M is equal to 150 kg. Again, by knowing the position or drawing one line parallel to this vector, so this is the vector in the force polygon or vector diagram, draw one mass parallel to this vector in space diagram, that will indicate the location of the balanced mass. As resultant force is in this direction, again balanced mass, it will be in 180 degree, exactly opposite to this resultant mass. So thus we can get the angle of balancing mass. In this case it is 201 degree. So we have used references from Theory of Machines by R.S. Khurmi and J.K. Gupta. Thank you.